Welcome. Interesting day in the market in terms of, the pullback with the S&P and the NASDAQ, but quite honestly, I just honestly twice, but I felt that was going to be the case coming into today. If you were in the stream last night, what happened today was exactly what I was talking about going into this week, right? And we're going to go over it, more in depth in a little bit, but this is why I always try my best for like the first 20 to 30 minutes of the stream, just to give my opinions on where things are in the market. So that's really what I do, just start the streams after like half an hour is when I do like the ticker requests. But, I'm not always going to be right. I'm not perfect. But last night I feel a lot of the things I said did in fact kind of play out today. And, I didn't execute on everything perfectly. Just looking at the sheet right now, kind of like a mixed open to the week. The VIR trade hit the first target today in the morning. So good stuff there. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Clover, Bitcoin, Dogecoin pretty shortly, probably in like 10-15 minutes. But yeah, just looking at the swings, it's an all right. I mean, considering that it was a pretty red day for the S&P and the NASDAQ, this is okay. But obviously I always want to be better. I mean, really, everything over here is fine up till here, like right here. Like all of this is pretty good. It's just like those last three trades, two of the premium trades, and then Fisker, obviously, which we're going to talk about as well. The warrant expirations today, I believe. But yeah, let's head on over to, we'll just start off with Dogecoin, because I actually want to talk about Dogecoin first. It was just running recently, but obviously on Dogecoin, that Gartley I spotted back in the end of January, the end of January, the final day of January 30th, when it was at 2 cents, right? In the beginning of, towards the end of January, I don't know what I'm saying. You had that move from like under 1 cent to 8 cents, and you got the crazy pullback on Dogecoin. And then you pretty much went down to 2 cents. And that was right over here was the lowest point Doge has been at since January 30th. It's never gone back down that far. Obviously, I had no clue that it was going to go to, 40, 50 cents. So I was happy with like a 140% gain at the time in like 2 or 3 days, but that's just how it goes. Let's move on over to TradingView. All right, so let me go full screen. Yeah, we're looking at Dogecoin right now. It's going wild. I have quite a bit in Dogecoin down here. I have 0 Dogecoins right now, so obviously that sucks, but I feel like for a lot of people trading Dogecoin, they see like these crazy returns and they're not typically used to that type of a percentage gain. Because they might not be trading options, but for somebody who does trade options, I've seen bigger moves than that, obviously, in options prices. But regardless, this was like probably one of the best performing cryptos from January to now. So if not the best performing crypto. So great move. I mean, there's really not much technical work to be done at this point. Although on Friday, if you were in the Discord, the link's in the description. On Friday, okay, let me go over, I don't know if it was on this exact, no it wasn't, let me see if I can find it. Was it on Bitrex maybe? Perfect. So on Friday, I think like in the afternoon, Dogecoin was up here at around 31 cents, and I looked at that there was this Gartley. It was the same exact Gartley that appeared from all the way back in January that I just showed you like 5 minutes ago. Same exact pattern. And I spotted it at 31 cents, and I just put it in the crypto channel in the Discord saying, you know, I just sent where the PCZ was, and it literally went from 31 cents down to 22 cents. And then since 22 cents, it has actually now hit the target of the Gartley. This was not an actual trade or anything. I just very quietly put it in the crypto channel in Discord. When you were at 31 cents, you went down to the PCZ, and now the Gartley has officially played out. So there's technical analysis working for you on Dogecoin out of all things. From the PCZ up until the target, very nice move. You had a couple of pullbacks, but this is the type of structure. These are the type of structures you look for. Even the MACD I was looking at saying, you know, look for something like this. I just like these little weird lines, but the MACD also confirmed the hidden bullish divergence on the 30-minute, which implied a continuation of the uptrend, and there's your continuation. Now you are pulling back somewhat. Very clear resistance around like 44 cents on Dogecoin. In terms of like your support, I would say you have a support around like 33 cents. It was kind of your low over here and your high over here. So you're really in the middle of a range right now on Dogecoin. Resistance 44 cents, support like 34 cents. So you got 38 cents. But we're gonna go, we have a lot to talk about besides Dogecoin. We'll just go to Bitcoin next, and then we're gonna talk about the stock market. You can't tell yet. I don't know if my voice sounds different, but I've been feeling sick for like 3 days now. Just on and off. I have a sore throat right now, just drinking some tea, but it sucks. And this was, I swear this was not planned, but I just ended up wearing the FTM hoodie, the FTM cap, which is always on this desk. And then when I made my tea, I got the mug. Like literally, like of course it would make so much sense for me to plan that. And a lot of times I do plan wearing the FTM merchandise on the stream, like most of the time. But today, like just coincidentally, I really don't have a reason to lie about that, but I don't know, just thought it was funny. Appreciate that, Santa. Oh, it's Anna from the Discord, what's up? But yeah, just Bitcoin. Like I said last night, there's not too much of an edge on Bitcoin right now. I did not anticipate this move at all. I thought Bitcoin was looking bullish, but here's why you manage your risk and why you can be wrong. I was definitely wrong this time around on Bitcoin. Even though at one point the trade was up 10%, I definitely was wrong in terms of the trade just didn't play out. It didn't go up to the target. That's just what happens. You can't be perfect. The last 2 trades I put out on Bitcoin hit their targets for like a 20% profit in a few weeks. This one, don't remember exactly how much of a loss it was, but I think it was like maybe like a 6-7%. I don't remember where I put the stop loss at, but at this point in time, you're literally, again, just like Dogecoin, you're in between support and resistance on Bitcoin. In my opinion, your support is 51K. It was your candle low from over here, or just from your dump on the weekend. And then if we go back in time, it was your support there, resistance here, support here. So above 51K, you're still fine, but I don't really see anything that's like necessarily bullish. You're just okay for now. But that's Bitcoin. Let's talk about the market for a bit. The Gartley pattern's amazing. Looking for the Fibonacci numbers are hard. Yeah, they don't appear all the time, but the more you kind of practice looking for harmonics, the easier it's going to be to spot them when they do appear. Let's see, wheat stocks hot tomorrow. We'll have to see with 420 how the pot stocks do tomorrow. I'm not sure if there was news today, but the pot stocks opened up nicely. Then they kind of dipped. They went back to red for like the afternoon, but then towards the close, they all kind of bounced as well, or a few of them did. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Clover in a little bit. Let's just talk about the market first. Not surprised at all if you watched last night's stream. This is everything that I talked about last night pretty much is what occurred today across the board. Last night's stream, basically, just to summarize what I said, I thought that the S&P and the NASDAQ did not look good and that they were going to pull back. But at the same time, my thesis was that even if the S&P and NASDAQ start pulling back, I do think a lot of these small cap stocks like EVs and SPACs and pot stocks, I think a lot of these types of stocks that got crushed in the last few weeks while the market was rallying, I thought that they would not fall too hard with the market. And for a little bit, they were falling, like everything was falling in like the morning. But you definitely did see a lot of these small cap stocks bounce in the afternoon, right? A lot of hot stocks bounced, a few EVs bounced. NEO had a big bounce today. CCIV bounced on like a tweet or something. Fisker did not bounce today, unfortunately. And then also Tesla, some news came out, unfortunately. I believe 2 people died in a crash in a Tesla. There's a bunch of news around it and like the specifics of the situation, but yeah, not a good day for the Tesla stock, obviously, but just, you know, praying for the families of those who were in the crash, right? Always before stocks, just lives. But in terms of like the market, your futures are kind of flat. They're a little bit green right now on the S&P and NASDAQ. I'm not too concerned about what happens tomorrow, but for the midterm, I am still bearish on the NASDAQ and the S&P. Why am I bearish? Because you're at the top of the wedge. I was super bullish when you were at the bottom of the wedge, but now you're at the top of the wedge, all right? You're overbought on the RSI on the 4-hour. The last 2 times you overbought on the RSI, you had a 8 to 10% pullback on the S&P. Last 2 times your RSI was at this level on the 4-hour. You actually have now confirmed your 4-hour classic bearish divergence. And it's just very clear rejection at the top of the channel. I know a few people have it charted differently. Maybe this could be a back test. I think regardless of how you have it charted, what matters is the follow through price action, and we're going to get that in the coming days, right? Because you could have a fake out to the upside. This could be a fake out to the downside. You never know. But personally, with the RSI and the MACD, I still think it's more bearish than bullish at these levels, at least for the short term. I'm not saying the market's going to crash. I'm just saying you look overbought, right? From a technical standpoint. Again, it's a little bit hard for me to talk. I have a really, really sore throat right now. And then if we look at the NASDAQ, I think Cheddar Freeze was talking about this on the QQQ or something, but I actually only noticed this today. I didn't even really look at it on Friday, but you did actually have a hanging man candle, which it looks pretty similar to like a bullish pin bar or a bullish hammer, except you kind of get it at the top of a range, not the bottom of a range. And typically the body of that candle will be higher than the body of the candle to your left and to your right, which obviously it was. So that's your hanging man candle, and you got the follow through price action today. You showed that hanging man on Friday, and then today obviously you fell down on the NASDAQ. I think definitely you can look at this like an XABCD. I was trying to look at it like that earlier today, and I think it was like close to a bat, except I believe the bat, your X to B should not go over like a 0.50 retrace or something. This is like a 0.685, but regardless, definitely like a bearish XABCD, whether it's classified as a specific harmonic or not, you're in those deep retrace areas on that final wave. And yeah, that's like the NASDAQ. The Russell, I actually thought would outperform today. It did not. So that was like the one thing I was wrong on from last night. I did think that the NASDAQ and the S&P would pull back, but I also thought that the Russell could kind of diverge a little bit. It didn't. It also did pull back. However, it was kind of weird. The Russell did pull back today, but again, a lot of small caps did pretty well. I mean, it was a pretty decent day for a lot of the trades, aside from like Fisker, and one of the premium trades was SOS that got stopped out. Aside from those two, the rest of the trades held up really well for the market, or for the NASDAQ being down 1%. So can't complain. And this is really what I was talking about last night. So we'll see how the fall through continues tomorrow. Whether you get like a bounce back day for the S&P and NASDAQ, not too sure, but we can talk more about the market in a little bit. Vishal, if that's how you pronounce it, says small caps have gone down with the NASDAQ and S&P going up. Seems like the market correction, it'll go further down. That's the argument that a lot of people are presenting. And that's where I'm kind of, again, for the people who missed last night's stream, I would definitely say after this stream to go back and watch it, because it's still, everything I said is still potentially in play. But my argument last night, and I showed many charts as an example, my argument that I made last night is that yes, I do think that the S&P and the NASDAQ look overbought, and a lot of big tech stocks and large caps look overbought in the short term. But what my argument from last night, or my thesis, was a lot of these, small cap, SPACs, EVs, pot stocks, A lot of people are saying that if the market pulls back, they're going to just keep getting crushed. My argument is that for a lot of these names, I actually don't think they're going to fall with the market because their technicals are looking really, really good. They're already at ridiculously low levels, and they did not follow the market when it went up. So maybe they don't follow the market when it goes down, right? That was my argument. But again, like I said last night, that can easily be invalidated. Maybe that argument works for some days. Maybe it doesn't work on other days. That's probably going to be the case, honestly. But yeah, let's talk about Clover for sure. Sundial, no clue what happened with it today. I heard some people talking about it. Nice pop today. That's just unfortunate, you know. The trade got stopped out. This trade was so weird. I mean, look. The first day of the trade, it was down like 5-6%. The second day of the trade, it went back to the entry, so you could have broken even. I was talking to somebody in a one-on-one call, and he told me that he did break even on that second day of the trade. And then the third day of the trade, it stopped out. But after Sundial stopped out, here's what all I'm going to say. After the stop loss got hit, it fell another 16%. Okay, that's why you use the stop loss, just for the short term. Because what happens if you did not stop out of this level and you were down another 16% and you panic sold at the bottom because you lost so much money? So that's like, you know, that's all I'm going to say for Sundial. But of course, yeah, 2 days later, it comes and bounces back up. I'm not sure if there was news. Regardless, you still are showing your classic bullish divergence. You had a bullish pin bar on Friday that I didn't even notice. So on Friday, this is a good setup. You have a bullish pin bar candle. Your divergence was somehow still developing. I just didn't look at the chart on Friday. And you're still, it kind of looks like you still have, regardless of this island, like kind of like triple classic bullish divergence if you ignore that little island. But not too sure what happened. A lot of pot stocks did well today. Well, they were a little bit volatile intraday, but yeah. We're going to talk about Clover in a second here. Just trying to breathe a little bit more because I'm a little bit sick. I know a lot of small caps went down back when the S&P was correcting in March, but they didn't go back up with the S&P. So if the S&P, and again, I'm not saying that the S&P is going to dump right down to the bottom of the wedge. I don't think that's going to happen. All I'm saying is I think that we're overbought and we can get a common retrace, right? Anywhere between a 50 to a 61.8% retrace in this area. You could fill the gap, which would be literally, look how perfect this is, okay? This is literally technical perfection, all right? If you go from your swing low to your swing high, your golden zone is between your 50% and your 61.8% retrace, these two Fibonacci lines. Look at this. Your 50% retrace to the downside is the gap fill, like to the dollar. So if you get a 50% retrace to the downside, you're filling the gap on the S&P. Okay? If you get a 61.8% retrace, the golden retrace, like literally on the S&P, you're going to be back testing your previous resistance. So this is the area right here. You have two major, retrace levels, the point 50 and the 618. You have a gap fill and you have your previous resistance. You really don't have any other levels here because you just went straight up. So that's what I mean by a common retrace. This is all I mean. Something like this, right? Very slowly, nice, and then you get there, and then you show some classic bullish divergence, and then you go back up. That's what I'm kind of thinking could happen. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying you look technically overbought, you can get a common retrace. And that might not even happen. Maybe you only get to a 236 and you start going back up again. You are going to really, it's not going to be like one day you're going to drop. You're going to make lower highs higher. You're going to make lower lows and lower highs, just very methodically is what I think could happen based on the technicals that are being presented. But again, I don't care if I'm wrong. And as a technical trader, you need to stop caring so much about, oh my gosh, I can't be wrong. You are going to be wrong no matter what. You need to start caring about maximizing your gains when you're right and minimizing your losses when you're wrong. That's the whole entire idea. But yeah, we're going to be looking at a ticker request in probably 10-15 minutes. I still want to go over Clover, talk about some other stuff. Not really going to be talking about SafeMoon. That's not really my realm of trading. And there's, all I'm going to say is there's some questions around that project, but I'm not even too informed, so I'm not getting into it, right? There's probably much better people who can help you out with SafeMoon than I can. I don't even know what it does. I don't know what it is. I know it's a crypto, but I'm just not the person for that. Oh yeah, I haven't even really said anything about that, all the other things. But yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate all the support. We had like 10 new subs last night. ever since the small caps started selling off, the sub growth has been way slower. The viewership has been lower. That's just a part of what it is. I mean, again, when people are not having good days in the market, I definitely understand not wanting to think about the market before you go to bed and just trying to forget about it. But it's just how it is as, like, you know, a content creator. There's going to be ups and downs that are probably pretty tightly correlated with how the market's performing, how my trades are performing. That's just a part of what I do. But for everybody who has been showing up every single night, just like I am, I don't care what the market's doing, I'm still here every single day, every single night to do whatever I can, right? To try my best. And that's why I care about lasting in this game for a long time. I don't care about a 1-2 month pullback in small caps. Yeah, the real ones. That's the easiest way to put it. But yeah. And then also the other crazy part, and I'm going to get into Clover in a second. I just want to really get everything that I wanted to talk about done with. Just, it's crazy. Literally nobody is hating when the market's going up and my trades are going up. But the second small caps and the NASDAQ and the S&P start going down is when people just start hating for no reason. And like a few months ago, that would kind of bother me. Now I just kind of find it funny because I've been through it for, you know, 5-6 months at this point. Just interesting thoughts that I'm sharing with everybody. Appreciate all the support, for real. Yeah, human nature, just, it cycles, right? And as somebody who uses technical analysis, I'm spending like half of my day every single day analyzing what people think about stocks. So I guess I'm like a psychologist now, okay? I'm joking. That's not to hate on psychologists or devalue their skills that I definitely don't have. It's a joke. But we're going to talk about Clover. One last thing before I even really get into Clover and then the ticker request. We have to go over the trades as well. We got a lot to talk about. I'm just trying to push through the stream because I'm not feeling well. But just because I don't want people saying I never reminded them, and I try to put out multiple reminders. There's literally like an hour left. I talked about this last night on stream really quickly, but if you want to sign up for premium alerts, you have pretty much like an hour left until the price goes back to the normal pricing. So $5 off right now for the next hour. Like as soon as the stream's over, I'm going to go over to the website and put the pricing back to normal, just because we're starting the second month of premium. So I just wanted to make it 25 only for like 24 hours. So in chat and the first link in the description if you want to sign up for that. But let's talk about Clover. Pretty interesting day. You had a really good pre-market, and you obviously gapped up with the pre-market. After you gapped up, you went all the way up to 1057 for your session highs. Then you pulled back, and what I really think is interesting here is pretty much from all of March until now, you've not been able to close a daily candle over $9. Today was the first day on Clover that you closed a candle over 9. If you remember last night on stream, I was basically saying you're still range bound between 7 and 9. This has been your range for almost 2 months, right? A month and 3 weeks. Today was the first time, and now we can say with confirmation that you broke out. I don't even care about the squeeze currently. Obviously I care about it, but just for the sake of this part of the analysis, regardless, even if it had a 5% short float, okay? Clover broke out on insane volume. This is getting over 200 million volume on a $9 stock is like a very new $9 stock. That was a SPAC, is insane. All right, that's just wild. And you got that not once but twice, on Friday and today. So you broke out, definitely confirmation. You closed your candle with high volume. Those are the two things to look for in breakouts. Your candle closed on the daily and high volume. You got both of those things. All right. Now, after I'm saying that, you have the high short interest, and this is the other point I want to make. All right, of course, if you have 147% short interest, which I don't believe you do, I believe that was now confirmed as like fake news. It's obviously much easier to squeeze because there's so many other shares that are being borrowed that would have to cover their positions, which would in effect make the stock price go even up more. But just from my experience with trading other high short interest stocks, I think all you need is over a 25% short float to get a squeeze. And I think Finviz raised their short interest on Clover, because typically I think it's every 2 weeks the short interests get updated. So they raised up their short interest to like 35-36%. So I saw multiple sources today saying that Clover does in fact have like a 35 to 37% short float. I also saw other sources saying it's a 70 to 100% short float. The numbers are all over the place, but I think the one thing that most people can agree on for Clover is that it does have over a 20% short float, which is like the minimum I personally think you need for a squeeze. Okay, you have a breakout, insane volume, and a high short float. It's probably not 147%, but it's still pretty high compared to most stocks. All right, and on top of all of that, you flipped your previous resistance into a support. Not only did you go up to 1057 today, you came all the way back down to like 920, and you flipped this whole entire resistance area into your support. Hold above 920 tomorrow on your 4-hour candle closes, and then you can just look at those next major resistances, okay? The 200-day just appeared because obviously it's a new stock, and it's currently at about 11 bucks. But that's Clover. We'll see what happens. Again, just keep in mind that it did go from $7 to $10 in like 2 days. So could it pull back randomly just because there's bag holders and people wanting to take profits in the short term? Sure. At the same time, could it go crazy because it was trending on Reddit, on Wall Street Bets, on Twitter? Not trending on Twitter, but like a lot of people were talking about it. Yeah. So it's in the standpoint where I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen tomorrow. But what I can tell you is that, in my opinion, it's pretty easy to manage your risk. You know that you want to hold above 920. As long as you do that, you're fine. And it's really as simple as that for me personally. You know, I don't like overcomplicating things during the day. I like doing as much analysis as I can at night and before the market opens. But when the market opens, I already have my idea. I already know my levels, and I just respect the levels that I laid out going into the day, right? Looking at the chat. Vibes for all the help you give. Premium has been great for me too, says E4 Spikes. Awesome, glad to hear that. If SEC clears CLOV, it'll be amazing. Yeah, I think it's yeah, they definitely had that investigation or whatever with the Department of Justice, the DOJ, right? I don't know, but is that a moonlight in the background? No, that's a globe. I think it just kind of looks like that with the lighting I have. Yeah, the short fee has gone up, I believe. The amount of shares that can be shorted has gone down. Again, I'm not a news reporter. I'm more of a technical analyst, so don't trust me on news, but Cheddar Freeze is much better with that as me, unless I twisted her words. But yeah, that's Clover. So now I'm just going to go over like the ongoing trades, and then after that, we're going to do the ticker request. But yeah, just get that done with. Fubo was alerted to everybody today. You might have not been able to get in at the optimal entry area because literally right when I put out this trade, it was already going up. By the time that I was hitting copy and paste to alert everybody in the Discord, it was already moving up. So regardless, you know, we've traded Fubo a couple or 2 or 3 times in the premium Discord or the premium channels in the Discord. And, you know, 2 of those times are pretty good, I believe. And then the last time, it was the most frustrating thing ever. Like, I alerted it down to like 2170. The target was like $26. And the trade was up like literally like 17 or like it was pretty much up like 17% like this. And it was 2% away from the target. This was the target, and then this is how high it got. And then obviously it went all the way up here, and then it came all the way back down. So it was a break-even trade, but it was 2% away from being a 19% trade in like 2 or 3 days. So that was extremely frustrating. But now I took another look at Fubo today. I didn't really touch it in this area. And I saw a few things that were interesting. Pretty close to a bullish crab harmonic pattern. It's not perfect because you didn't have a 618 from X to B, or you exceeded your 618. You did have a 0.70. So that's a little bit off, but what really just gave me more confirmation saying, all right, even though it's not like a textbook crab, you still might be able to trade it like one, is that you went right down to your 2618 double golden ratio, and that is where Fubo reversed, okay? Now, alongside that, you've been showing your classic bullish divergence for like a whole entire week now on the daily. Even the daily candle looks pretty interesting. Nice little wick at the bottom, nice green body at the top, shows that the bulls kind of regained control intraday. But if we go down to the 1 hour, I believe you also have, and I wouldn't say it's classic bullish divergence, but the 4 hour, technically, if you technically you went back to green on the MACD and you could consider that classic bullish divergence. I usually don't consider only one wick, but just the fact that you reverse exactly at the 2618, which also, we go back in time, this 1812 level, we really zoom in here. It was your candle close on this day, all right? And I think I might have been on the daily. Yeah, let's not be on the 4 hour. Let's see. So 1812 up here, all right? It was your candle close on this day, and then it was kind of your candle close on that day, right? And that was kind of your reversal point. You did wick lower than that, but you ended up closing above it. So just a few things I saw lining up. Interested to see how Fubo does from here. Let me just make sure this shows up on the daily chart. And yeah, let's move on. DNLI, shout out to Guy in Hat. Really interesting looking chart. This is another thing I alerted to everybody today in case you missed it. It's still around the entry. A lot of variables that are lining up here. On the daily, you have quadruple classic bullish divergence, right? Lower low, lower low, lower low. But on your MACD, you've been making those higher lows on this island to this island to this one to this one. So quadruple classic bullish divergence, which is pretty strong. You bounced off the 200-day moving average, which is this green line. And you're kind of showing like a potential inverse head and shoulders formation. It's very small, but it's there. Just throw like a little bit of a cherry on top. And technically you do have classic bullish divergence on the 4 hour, even though it could turn into 4 hour hidden bearish divergence, which is why you definitely wanted to pivot soon. So that does not happen. But yeah, DNLI and Fubo, the two new trades alerted today. Shout out to Guy in Hat for the idea on DNLI. I just targeted pretty much right under the 382, which also lines up from this high, and then right under the 50% retrace, which is like the textbook way to target a falling wedge, which was also your gap fill right over here. All right, let's go and talk about Fisker now. It did get stop hunt today, but I said in the Discord, with the market being red and the warrants expiration, I'm just gonna give it one more day. Here's the thing, and it just kind of comes down to, this can reverse at any point, but at some point you just have to kind of lay back and let it reverse, right? It's not gonna be too easy to catch the exact bottom on it. I do think that it's way oversold. I've been saying this for multiple nights now, but it just continues to drop. There's just no buyers that are coming in right now, right? Apparently a lot of buyers liked to buy Fisker at $30, but people don't want to buy it at 13. Welcome to the stock market. People like buying at higher prices when there's FOMO and hype, and they don't like buying it when it looks like it's a falling knife. But obviously, regardless of whether you bought up here or over here, you still would have taken a loss. So that's why you got to be smart about your risk and really assessing the best entry, right? So eventually, there's like a 99% chance you're going to show classic bullish divergence eventually, because just look how much more you'd have to fall in the MACD to not show classic bullish divergence, and like, in my opinion, you're going to reverse in the short term. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be the next day, but I do think, even if I'm not saying like a true like full reversal, like a V-shaped recovery, but just to make a bounce, right? You're oversold for only the second time on the chart. You're oversold. I mean, the last time you were oversold, you pretty much got down to the same exact level on the RSI, right? So you're approaching the lowest RSI Fisker has ever seen. And the last time the RSI was this low, and Fisker was at $9 when I put out that bullish butterfly trade, which eventually went up to $23 from $9 right down here, right? So like I said when I put up the trade, if you just want to wait until you start putting in higher highs and higher lows on those lower time frames, go for it. You still are also having issues breaking above the VWAP on the 1 hour. So you might want to start flipping this VWAP into your support. You're still somehow showing 1 hour classic bullish divergence. Just tough scenes for Fisker, right? This is currently the worst performing trade. So we'll see what happens. PGRE broke out, and not only did PGRE break out, okay, we've been talking about this for multiple weeks. The trade is up 7% since the entry on PGRE. You confirmed your hidden bullish divergence, and not only did you break out on Friday, but today you back tested the breakout. This is what you always want to do. You want to break out and flip your resistance into a support. You can see the exact low today on PGRE was 1053, which used to be a resistance, and you bounced off of it. Perfect. Looks great. As long as you can hold above not even 1053 but 1037, there's no turbulence until your targets. Like, gap fill, and then your previous support, there's nothing in your really stopping you. There's nothing in your way. So we'll see how this trade continues to go on. COP, I talked about this on last night's stream. You fell back under that resistance point. You still are showing the hidden bullish divergence on the daily and the 4 hour. So as long as you can hold above this support, you're good. You did hold it today. You even bounced off the support today, like 50.62. You were a couple cents off, but it's only down 2%. I threw a really tight stop loss on it regardless, just because you're playing the support. So you don't want to be messing with it if it falls under the support. ESPR, nothing's really changed here. We talked about it last night. You're still showing divergence. You're above support. This was alerted on Friday. It's like a little bit above the entry. Really don't need to talk too much about it right now. VIR hit the first target of the trade today for a 12% profit. I believe I alerted this trade last Tuesday and hit the first target. So that was a 12% gain on the first target where you could have just taken some profits. And where did it start pulling back at? Exactly at the target. It hit the target, and then immediately right after hitting that target, it started pulling back. So that's why you want to scale out sometimes, right? It just made more sense. And then finally, Zoom, I really don't even want to talk about it. It's done nothing for 3 weeks. It looked so good with the Gartley and the double bottom, but just not a lot of demand. So that really recaps everything I wanted to talk about. Hopefully that gave you some sort of insight if you're in any of those stocks, or you just wanted my thoughts on the market, or Dogecoin or Bitcoin. We already covered all of them. Does Doge have a double top on the 30-minute solid resistance at 38 cents? We'll take a look real quick just to see what it's up to. I was looking at this chart. Let's go back to the 30-minute. I don't really see like a super big resistance here. I mean, 40 cents if you look like at these candles. I think your real resistance is 44 cents. It was your candle high over here. And then if we just remove this harmonic, it was pretty much also your candle high over here. So I think that would be like, I'm not going to call it a double top, but where your resistance is, and then your support, I would say, is 33 cents. Kind of does look like a cup and handle, even though typically you would have broken out over here. You wouldn't have pulled back over here on the handle. So that's kind of weird. But it's Dogecoin. And yeah. Just looking at the chat really quickly. Let me skip that song. Let's see what's in the chat. Palantir, we'll take a look at it. Alright, so we can definitely do some taker requests now. Yeah, sure. Drop some takers in the chat. Probably not going to do too many tonight. I'm just not feeling too great right now, but if you want me to look at something for you, drop the takers in the chat. I do believe we had Palantir and then VIV. AWX. And again, please don't request something that was up like 1000% today. I need a stable chart. Don't request something that IPO'd last week, because there's not going to be much on the chart for me to look at. And obviously nothing I say is financial advice. It's just my opinion. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Probably going to be wrong on multiple things I say tonight. I can't be right on everything. I'm looking at so many charts, right? Just typing in some names. We'll start off with Palantir. You fell under the 2250 support, which was your support over here and then over here. And now your next support is $21.15 from right over here on that candle. And then kind of over here, even though you went a little bit under it. Unfortunate. This was a premium trade. At one point, the trade was up 12%, right? It was up 12% right over here. But then it just kind of came all the way back down, and it turned out to be a break-even trade. Another frustrating one, but at least it wasn't like a losing trade. Not too much of an edge currently on your oscillators. You did fill a gap. Yes, no, you filled a gap today. You filled the gap to 22.08, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. You just want to hold $21.15. VIV, you're trying to hold 778. Let's go over to the daily. There's not much of an edge on the 4 hour. Looks like this is a harmonic. Pretty close to a bullish Gartley. You didn't really have a 786 retrace, but you kind of had a 1618. It was really close to the PCZ. Whether you look at it like a 1618 from B to D or a 786 from X to D, it was really close to that PCZ, and you didn't even bottom once, but you bottomed twice at that PCZ area, pattern completion zone. So pretty close to bullish Gartley. You pretty much had a nice move up. You tested the 200-day moving average, and then you came right back down to the support at 778, which was your support over here. As long as you hold 778, it looks fine. I don't see much of a pattern at this point. Maybe you can look at this as your second bottom, and that was all this was your first bottom. I just think really 778 is your level you want to hold. AWX, this is not the type of thing that you could really use technicals on. I mean, the candles aren't even really like showing up on the 4-hour. And you don't have divergence, you don't really have a pattern, so can't really help you out there. You do have a gap fill to like 366. If I had to make up a support, I'd say 318 because it was your lows on these candle and your highs on these candles. All right. We already talked about sundial earlier. ZOM. We've talked about this one like every night on the stream. Like I said yesterday, you got to get back above 88 cents. All right. SEAC. I'd say your support is 96 cents. I know a lot of people are talking about this on Twitter right now. 96 cents was kind of your highs on some of these candles. It was pretty much your low here, close to your low here. Just a rough area in which I think you should definitely try to hold, but not much of a pattern or divergence, so I don't really think it's a technical play. But that doesn't mean it can't go up. It just means I'm not too sure based on what the chart is showing me. And I don't know anything about the company, right? GNUS. 153 is your major area. It was your support here, your resistance here, kind of your resistance there, and your support right here. And I like how you closed above 153. You don't have like textbook divergence on the 4-hour, but it's just nice to see that on this MACD island you were going back towards green, and you did cross over to green while your price was going down. So just some local divergence, kind of a similar formation on the daily. As long as you can continue to close your candles above 153, you're good. All right. Appreciate that, Sean. AMC, I mean, just to reiterate on sundial, we'll look at it again. On sundial, at this point, your MACD still looks good. You're showing the classic bullish divergence. I think somebody in the Discord was looking at it like a falling wedge. Let me try and line that up. I'll probably just look at it like that. I mean, that's still just weird. So let me see. I'm not maybe it was like more zoomed out, but I don't know. Maybe you can definitely see that there was downsloping price contraction, and you definitely broke your supply line after this bullish hammer. It looks pretty good. I mean, you're at an area where you definitely want to hold above 92 cents. I mean, it's kind of like between 92 cents to 95 cents is like this choppy area. You just want to be above 95 cents. I mean, that was your high here, your high here, your low right over here. So you're trying to reclaim that level, and you did break your supply line with divergence. So maybe I was just too early on sundial when I put out the trade, and that was like obviously the optimal entry with this bullish pin bar candle. The 4-hour divergence probably looks great. We already talked about that actually. AMC looks really interesting to me. You have 4-hour hidden bullish divergence. As long as you can hold above like 870, we go back in time, that was your support right over here. Hold 870, and I think AMC is fine. And you know how to manage your risk. You just got to hold that level. So it looks pretty interesting. This is not like an actual trade. I was just kind of looking at the levels. It was like an options idea that I gave out to the premium members. It did go up a couple. It went up like the next day or like the 2 days after it, but hold back some. Looks good. Just hold 870 for now. Looks fine. BurgerFi, I think they had earnings recently, maybe. I just saw it on Earnings Whisper, but that might have been wrong. I don't like how you fell under the 200-day moving average. So I'd say your support is 12. Oh, look at that. I swear I wasn't even looking at this candle. Okay, I was actually looking at this candle right over here and this candle high. So go figure why you bounced off of 1260 today, because it was also this candle's low. It was this candle low, and then it was this candle high. And don't mind all those circles. I just kind of use this chart as like an example chart on my one-on-one calls. But that's BurgerFi. Steven says, told a buddy to sign up for premium. He was stoked. His first trade was Clover on Friday. Was awesome. The last 2 times I alerted Clover for the premium members, it was an 18% gain. So awesome. Appreciate you trying to spread the word. Steven, means a lot. Thank you for all the support you've shown in the past few months. Really appreciate it. I could already tell GMTN.V is going to be a weird looking chart. Oh, this is going to be, yeah, it doesn't even show up, so can't really look at that. Is there GMTN? I don't know if you want me to look at this, but I don't see .V. Even if I look at any of these, it's like, I already know it, they're just going to be super weird. I can't do anything with that chart or this chart, just not enough data. I think we're just going to cut it out there for the take request. I know it's less than normal tonight. I'm just not feeling well. But yeah, just to wrap up the stream, see how the market continues to unfold during the week. See what Fubo can do tomorrow. Hopefully Fisker can bounce back after the warrant expiration, but we'll see. And then yeah, literally as soon as the stream ends, or pretty close to around when it ends, I'm going to be moving back up the price for the premium alerts. So this is like your final chance if you want to, what's it called? If you want to sign up for the premium alerts at a lower price than it usually will be, more than 10% off. That's the pin chat and the first link in the description. As soon as the stream ends, or pretty close to when the stream ends, I'll be moving back up the price. Jesse Henderson says, you already know I've been rocking my FTM hat all over town. Appreciate that. Repping the brand. Wearing it right now. I have a lot of FTM. I have 4 different pieces of FTM stuff with me. I have the mouse pad. I'm wearing the hat. I'm wearing the hoodie. And I'm using the mug for my tea. So you could tell I like the brand. All right. But yeah, I mean, it's just another common misconception just recently. Like, so I had somebody on Twitter saying, you know, they were a fan of me until the premium alerts. And that just, again, I don't get mad when I say stuff like that because it's always my decision at the end of the day. But it's just like people never see like my side of things, you know. I really don't like talking about this too much. Just I don't like giving attention to people who are hating. But like for 3 to 4 months straight, I was putting out like 10 to 12 trades with like at that point it was like an 80 to 90% win rate because the small caps are just on fire. And for the people who weren't back here in like December and January, you don't know how good it was, but it was like back to back to back to back weeks of like every trade, or like most of the trades, just playing out 20%, 30%. There were a few 100% gains in a few days. Like it was just insane. And like, you know, doing that for months and months and months and months, like people never saw the side of like me taking out like literally the majority of my days trying to look for opportunities like that and sharing them. So that's just my side of things, you know. And then I would say the part that I messed up on was I put too much importance on trades and not enough importance on education, right? That's always been my main goal. And it was just like, you know, there were just so many trade opportunities I was sharing instead of really focusing a lot on education. So at a certain point, I was just like, look, the majority of people who have said anything to me about the premium alerts, honestly, and a lot of them, I've never even heard them say anything in the Discord or on the stream before. Like the day I put out the premium alerts, there was like 30 people who messaged me and like chatted, and I've never seen their names anywhere. So a lot of the people who were hating were literally, they were not trying to learn. They were just like sitting back and getting handed, you know, trades after trades after trades. So it's like, at what point am I just gonna sacrifice me learning in college, me doing other things, because I literally, like, this has become most of my life. So like, at what point am I just gonna stop, you know, doing all of it for free? And then the other thing is like, still, like, what has really changed, you know? And again, I don't like going off on rants, but like, what really changed, you know? I'm still here streaming every single night. I'm still putting out the trades, and it's just terrible timing that small caps have been terrible since I went over to the premium trades. And I've always been mainly trading small caps and mid caps. So just terrible timing there, but just so many different things. It's not as simple as a lot of people make it out to be. So I don't know. I don't talk about that stuff too much, but I really do appreciate it. And the reason why I don't like talking about that is because what always overweighs all of that negativity is just the people who are supporting my vision, what I'm trying to do, and just trying to make something that can be sustainable for the future, and not just something that's only going to be here for the bull market, where, in my opinion, a lot of the people who are in the same realm as me right now, I don't think they're going to be here when the bull market's over. Just because I went on YouTube today, and I saw somebody who was trying to teach technicals on Dogecoin, had like 2,000 viewers, and the chart was like just a bunch of squiggly lines and like, I don't know, just a lot of people are very, very emotional. They didn't really learn technicals before they started teaching them. And I just hate how much miseducation there currently is on technical analysis, because it just gives it a bad rep when people teach technicals incorrectly. So, you know, I always go out of my way to make sure I try and teach things the most clearest way from what I've learned. And I'm not a perfect trader. I've never said I am. But I do believe that the quality of what I know is much higher than 99% of other technical analysis teachers. There are that other 1% that are better than me, like Mitch Ray, Scott Carney, obviously all those legends that I always talk about. But the other 99%, like, they just learned BS technicals, and they're just teaching people. It's just a disgrace. Like, they're teaching people incorrectly how to trade, and that's going to lose people money in the long run. So I don't know. Hopefully you enjoyed my rant or not. I appreciate all the support regardless. Let's get some more likes on the stream if you enjoyed it. Let's try and get to 30 likes. Yeah, we already did the take request. I'm just really not feeling too well. I've been sick for a few days. Been trying to like hold it in, but it's kind of catching up with me right now. And yeah. So I hope everybody has a good one. Appreciate the support, Chatter Freeze. Appreciate the support, everybody in the stream. Again, I don't care what the market's doing. Just always trying to help out however I can. And quite frankly, if you don't understand that, then there's many other people you could go learn from, right? So thank you all for everything. Changed my life in a matter of 5-6 months, and I'll forever be grateful. All right, we're back at it tomorrow. Join the Discord, the link's in the description. D again with the 1111. Appreciate the 1111. I remember you sent one, like, I think last night or on Thursday night stream, and you've sent a few more, so appreciate the 1111. It's always a good luck to get the 1111. So vibes in the chat for D. Thank you very much for all the support. And then yeah, just again, that final reminder, because this is not, I might do this like maybe once a month when it's like going to be like the first new day of like a premium month, but that's like a once a month thing for 24 hours. So if you want to get in for this month, as soon as the stream ends or pretty close to when it ends, I'm going to be raising that price back up. First link in the description and pin chat. And yeah, have a great night. Great luck trading to everybody. And learn technicals the right way, okay? Start questioning the people who are teaching you squiggly lines on the chart, all right? Don't trust everybody. If you ever want to question me, always go for it, all right? So thank you for coming out to my TED Talk. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream, and peace out.